9:25. Welcome back to this very cold Monday morning. You know, today starts craziness, and Friday we talked to Joe Cunningham, which, you know, I think it's really cool that a national organization like No Labels gives us time to come on the show and fill us in, and Joe's going to come back on in March. But it's really cool. The other day I was watching, you know, one of the big four news stations. I can't remember which one, but I saw Joe talking to one of the hosts, and I went, wow, how cool is that? You know, he's on the big four and then comes in to, you know, talk to us about all the things they're doing on the ground. And, you know, it's not, let's be honest, it's not going to really amount to much, but I think it's a great idea, and it might gain traction over the next decade. It just, you know, might not be there yet. But hey, primary or caucus season and all that starts today. And it kind of amazes me because, you know, some of us, I'm not picking on you, just don't know what the difference is. So what's the difference between a primary and a caucus? Well, I am on a USA.gov website because I wanted to make sure we talked about those, because today we're going to see all the coverage of Iowa. It's negative like 13 degrees this morning there. Could you imagine if you felt like you had to vote today? Good night. Well, primary and caucuses are two ways that help with states and political parties choose their potential presidential nominee. So most states hold primaries 6 to 9 months before a presidential election. Primary voters choose their preferred candidate anonymously by casting secret ballots. The state where the primary is held takes the results of the vote into account to award delegates to the winner. Caucuses are a little different. Several states hold caucuses in the month leading up to a presidential election. Caucuses are meetings run by political parties that are held by the county, the district, or precinct level. Some caucuses choose candidates by a secret ballot. Others require participants to divide themselves into groups according to the candidate they support. Undecided participants form their own group. Each candidate's group gives speeches and tries to get the others to join their group. At the end, the number of delegates given to each candidate is based on the number of caucus votes they received. So depending on the state and political party rules, primary and caucusing can be open, closed, or even a hybrid of the two. During an open primary or an open caucus, voters don't have to be registered with a political party to take part in its primary or its caucus. Now, during a closed primary or closed caucus, only voters registered with the party can take part of that vote. So semi-open and semi-closed primaries and caucuses are a variation of the two main types, and each state has its own way of operating its primary and its caucusing. So states and political parties use these different methods for deciding how many delegates they're going to award to each candidate. For more information about your own presidential caucus here, or primary here in Illinois, because we don't have a caucus, it's a primary, there's information available for you. But I just thought a quick little recap of what the difference between the caucusing is from the primary. I think it's kind of unique in the sense that if you do have your undecided group, they get lobbied for, you know, throughout the day to see if they're going to support the other groups' prospective candidates. So there you go. That's the difference between a primary and a caucus at 9:28. We'll see the craziness this evening, and we'll be back after a quick break and talk to Mike Weller about all things AP Cigar.